Welcome to Geek Fandom Media. I'm your host, Chris, and you guys, we got a vast variety of topics to jump into in today's video. Superman doing gangbusters at the box office, earning $22.5 million in previews domestically. That is the biggest of the year, the biggest of James Gunn's career. That's bigger than last year's Barbie, and that is also bigger than the Batman. Superman could be tracking for a ginormous opening weekend. We're talking over $200 million worldwide at the box office, you guys. If I'm James Gunn and David Zaslav and Warner Brothers and DC Studios, I'm extremely happy with those numbers. Hopefully, with the positive word of mouth, like Sinners, Superman can continue to keep thriving and keep making money, because I ultimately want to see more of this universe. I want to see more projects greenlit. And I'm hoping Superman has a massive profit for James Gunn. Do I think Superman's going to cross $1 billion? I do think that's a strong possibility. We have all summer, but the Fantastic Four First Steps does release in 2 weeks, you guys. And that is going to be another heavy hitter. But talking about topics, you guys, the first topic of the video is a big one. David Corenswet confirms he is under contract for a sequel to Superman. Now, is James Gunn writing a sequel to Superman? As of right now, we don't know what his next project is. But he did confirm that David Corenswet's Superman will appear before a potential sequel. So, more than likely, he could show up in Lanterns. I don't think he'll show up in Clayface or Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I do think that with Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, he'll show up because that is his cousin. Spoilers, you guys. Supergirl does show up in Superman. That was a nice little small brief cameo. We got the first look at Millie Alcock as Supergirl. So I'm excited to see what they do with the world of Supergirl. You know, she showed up all drunk. You know, she goes to other planets to drink her sorrows away, just like the comic book storyline. So they're really leaning into that stuff. But, you know, I'm down to see a Superman sequel. If James Gunn is not interested in, you know, potentially writing and directing it, I'm curious to know who would want to pick up that mantle. But I feel like Superman is going to be James Gunn's baby. He's going to be the only person who will be handling Superman with, you know, within DC Studios. As far as villains go, man, some people want to see Brainiac, you know, some people want to say Metallo or, you know, Mongol. It's going to be interesting to see who they pick next, or even like General Zod, though I don't think we'll see Zod anytime soon, honestly. Maybe further down the line, but, you know, we just had Zod so recent. He was just in the Flash film. I think they're going to hold off on Zod for right now. But moving on to the next topic, guys, James Gunn is reportedly eyeing TV spinoffs for Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen, two fan favorites, two standouts of the Superman film. Now, I'm not too big on the lore of Mr. Terrific. You know, if you guys have any comic book recommendations, please let me know. Put them in the comments down below, because I want to read me some Mr. Terrific comic books. But I'm down to see more story arcs for this character expanded, especially through a TV series. I think that would be brilliant. Now, to do a whole Mr. Terrific film, I don't know if that's a good decision. You know, it's very risky, and, you know, gambling on comic book, you know, certain comic book projects in 2025, you guys, is real. Maybe, you know, 5 to 10 years ago, I would have said absolutely, but you really have to pick your poison. You have to pick and choose correctly. But like I said, Mr. Terrific's been a huge standout. Jimmy Olsen, you know, a lot of fans really like this interpretation of Jimmy Olsen. You know, so if you're going to do like a little side series at the Daily Planet of Jimmy Olsen really, you know, doing the ins and outs, you know, of his journalistic integrity and, you know, his investigating, then by all means, I'm down with it. That would be a lot of fun. Oh, this was a big one. David Zaslav reportedly shut down development on the Black Superman project in 2022, you guys. Deeming the script too woke. It's too woke. Sorry, Val Zod, it ain't happening. But apparently there's potential for James Gunn and Peter Safran to revisit that film in the future. Do we need a Val Zod? Probably not. We don't. I know Michael B. Jordan, there was some kind of rumor of him being attached to a Black Superman project a couple years ago. I don't know how true that was. I know there was an interview with Michael B. Jordan and a reporter. I think he was promoting Creed 3, I believe. And, you know, the reporter asked about it, and, you know, he was just dead silent. And his agent or whatever was like, all right, we'll end it there. And he just smiled, you know. So I was like, oh, there could be some kind of truth and some kind of possibility. James Gunn did confirm that somebody did come up to him for a project and an idea that he was like, if you can get the script, we will greenlight it. So could we see Michael B. Jordan as a Val Zod in the DCU? That would be pretty interesting. Very interesting, especially alongside David Corenswet. That would be, damn, those two guys together, you know what? You might have a hit on your hands, honestly. Michael B. Jordan right now is extremely hot, coming off of Sinners, you guys. Arguably the best film of the year, my favorite film of the year. You know, so if I'm you know, James Gunn, I want Michael B. Jordan in my universe. I want Ryan Coogler. He did confirm that he did, you know, he was talking to Ryan Coogler on a podcast recently, but we don't know what those conversations were. He said that they were talking about how big the Black Panther premiere was, but who knows, man. It's going to be quite fascinating. Also, you guys, Clayface starts shooting next month, confirmed to be R-rated, not an Elseworld story, so it is set inside, you know, the DCU. It's going to be inspired by The Feet of Clay, the Batman animated series. It's 2 episodes. I recently just watched it last week. Brilliant stuff. Matt Hagen, a very heavily disfigured actor, transformed into Clayface by Roland Daggett. The Renu chemical, you know, apparently, you know, in the show he was putting it on his face to make his face turn back to normal or whatever, and you know he can mimic and be whoever he wants. And then all of a sudden, you know, he goes against the bad people, and they pour a massive glob of this chemical all over him that fully just transforms his body. You guys, absolutely insane. If you guys haven't seen those 2 episodes on, you know, the Batman animated series, or if you have seen it, please revisit it. It is really, really good. Moving on, you guys, David Zaslav was in talks with The Rock on how to fix the DCU, but talks quickly ended after Black Adam flopped, only grossing $393 million at the box office. Ooh. I mean, what did he say? The hierarchy of the DC world is about to change. That shit was so corny, man. Like, I'm one of the people who actually enjoyed Black Adam. I thought Black Adam was dope. I love Hawkman. Dr. Fate was badass. Black Adam wasn't a terrible film. You know, the script wasn't the greatest. The Rock's acting was absolutely atrocious. But there were some awesome moments. The fact that we won't ever see Dr. Fate again, or, you know, potentially not for, you know, until further down the line, is a huge bummer. Because Pierce Bronson, incredible work as Dr. Fate. Incredible work. Moving on to the last topic, you guys. Robert Pattinson never called David Corenswet to congratulate him after he got the gig for Superman? What in the world? Come on, this is no story here. David Corenswet was in an interview promoting Superman, and he was like, yeah, when, you know, Aaron Pierre got the job for Lanterns, or Tom Reyes Harris got the job for Clayface, he contacted them and congratulated them. And he was like, yeah, Robert Pattinson never called me and congratulated. Because I'm like, you guys are 2 separate universes. It would be different if the Batman was set in the DCU, which we don't know. It's a strong possibility. If Superman makes a lot of money at the box office, I can see that full potential crossover happening. But James Gunn said he's about to read a second script for Batman Brave and the Bold. He's already, you know, read the script for, you know, the Batman Part 2. He said it's great. So I don't know how true it is, but it's going to be quite fascinating. Look, man, it's Superman weekend, you guys. A lot of good stuff came out of this film. A lot of big potential things that could happen in this universe. It feels fresh. It feels brand new. And I like it. You know, I love this restart so far. And I'm 110% behind it. And I can't wait to see David Corenswet and these group of great young actors lead the charge for this new phase of comic book films. And that's what it truly feels like. It feels like everything's freaking new. And I love that. And I feel like we need that right now. You know, out with the old, in with the new. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about today's topics. Black Superman not happening. David Zaslav was just like, nah, this is too black. This is too black. We can't have all this. They're going after KKK members. No, we cannot do this. Absolutely not. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And of course, thank you guys for taking time out of your day for watching Geek Fandom Media. Peace.